now it's time for the grown women to talk. Believe it or not, more and more American women are now saying they don't want to have children. A recent Pew Center survey of 3,800 American women was done. It shows of that group, 44% of the non-parents said it's not too likely or not likely at all that they'll have kids someday. That's up by 7% from the original group surveyed. Now, tonight we explore the question with our panel of women.
Mish, let's bring you into this conversation. Where do you stand? Are you in desperate need or want of children, or you're like, I don't give a
Well, yeah, I'm on team don't give a I made it all the way to 51 for the turn 52, and the most I had invested right here. See it? There it is. All right. So seriously, I don't have kids, and I tell people all the time there was nothing ticking. There were no clocks. Uterus wasn't calling me in the middle of the night. Like, that is so not my reality. And ironically, Isaiah, I look around and most of my friends are just like me. We don't have kids. No one was like, oh my God, it's my biggest regret. Nobody ever went there. So my life decision, I am totally happy with.
And Miss, you've heard some women say, I don't feel complete without having a child. So how do you get past that? Is that even a thought or feeling that you have?
It's not on my radar. You know, first of all, this really is about upbringing, family values, you know, what you're hearing from society, pressure. Do you succumb to that kind of stuff? I don't. Happiness for me is peace of mind when I lay down at night, bills are paid, I got my back covered, you know what I'm saying? Roof over my head, belly is definitely well fed. You know, just, I don't need to be a mom to feel complete. Would having had children been nice? Sure. But I didn't, and it didn't crumble my spirit or my attitude. I really enjoy my life.
And you said, would having children have been nice? Any regrets whatsoever?
No, I ask myself that about once every year. And I stop and I pause. You kind of say self goes, And you say self, are we regretting anything? And self goes, no, we're good. And I'm done. That's about as far as I get with it. And I've done this self check for years. And I'm just like, there's something wrong with me because I don't have the regrets. I just don't. There are enough children in the world, loved and unloved. And if I should ever turn around and say, you know what, I got a lot to share, I have a lot to give, I've made more than enough money, then God bless me and let me adopt a child. You know what I'm saying?
And Jess, let's hear from you. You're a parent, and obviously you have children. Did you feel like you wanted children? You needed children? What, are they listening?
I thought them to stay.
Yeah, Mom wanted you.
Stay in their room, stay in y'all's room. No, I had children very young. So first of all, I'll say whoever doesn't want to have children, leave these people the hell alone. If they don't want kids, they don't have to have kids. That's okay. I completely understand. Now, if I would have had it my way, had I knew then what I knew now, I would have definitely waited. But I feel like if I would have been doing the things that I'm doing now and then now deciding to have kids, I may have decided not to, not because I didn't want them or because I don't love my children, but I just feel like I wouldn't be able to give them what they need. So I am grateful that my kids are the age that they are now so that I can do the things that I'm doing. But if God would have waited on that for me, I don't know if that would have ever came to pass. But I do know that mother was a title that God had for me. So I don't take anything back. I'm grateful for the way that it was. But I stand in agreement with these ladies. If they don't want kids, don't have them, because there are many kids out here that are unloved. They're in houses and they're unloved. So if you don't want them, don't have them. Because there are a lot of
Ray, I saw you amening there. Your thoughts about having kids?
I do not want kids whatsoever. Like, I team no kids. Can I cuss? Can I cuss?
Go ahead and give me what you got for a poke job.
I'm team kids. At the end of the day, no kids. I do not want children at all. Up until a certain point, I want to say third grade, I thought every woman had to be a mother. And then I had a writing teacher who was in like her late 40s, early 50s, I believe. And she was like, oh, I'm not married. I don't have any kids. And I was like, wait, hold on. That's an option not to have kids? And she was like, if you don't want kids, you don't have to have kids. I was like, oh, I thought I was going to have kids. I don't want it. And now I'm being told I don't have to have kids.
No, who told you initially that you had to have kids? Where'd you get that from?
I felt like growing up in my family, seeing like how everybody is, I feel like it was an obligation as a woman to have children. And at that point, that's how I saw like, oh, you're a woman, you have to have kids. Even if you don't want them, you still have to have kids. But then that moment for me was like, you don't have to have kids. You can live your life kid-free. And I was like, oh, Jesus, is this you? Is this you?
And I've seen that from young ladies that I mentor. They're like, Miss Guillory, you don't have kids? I'm like, no. And they literally say the same thing that Desiree said. That's an option? Seems to be a surprise to a lot of young ladies.
Yeah, I guess it's the pressures, like you said, Mish, for some from society. Now, Desiree, what's unappealing to you about being a mother and having children?
I can't live my best life if I have kids, honestly. Some people say I'm being selfish, but I don't see it as being selfish, because once you become a mother, you have to give so much of yourself and so much of your time to said child or children that, yeah, you have all the stuff you're working on, but you have to make sure your kids are good first, and everything else takes a backseat. And then some people are like, oh, after 18, they're good. No, you're a mother until one of y'all dies. It's not until no 18 years. Until one of y'all go home to Jesus. Oh my God.
No. Desiree, have you made up your mind too early? You're in your 20s now.
I'm 27, going to be 28 in June. I've been saying I don't want kids for a long. Jess can tell you, isn't that right, cousin? I don't want no kids.
Well, there's more to this hot conversation coming your way in just a moment. Keep it right here on The Factor Uncensored. We'll be right back. Should we pick up where we just left off with our panel of women, half saying having children is important while the others say they can do without. Let's dive back into the conversation with the ladies, child or not.
Let's bring in Layla now. Layla, your thoughts. You're in your 30s and you want children.
Yes, I absolutely do. I feel like, you know, how the ladies spoke about they didn't have that urge or that feeling. Well, I've always had that urge and feeling of having a child one day. And it's because of look, they used to nickname me in middle school Mama Layla, okay? I'm the nurturer. I try to take care of everybody. I'm a pet mom. I'm a dog mom myself with 4 of them. So for me, it's just like I would like to have a mini me. And there are times that I wish I would have had kids at a younger age like Jess did, because her children are amazing. I'm speaking on your kids, Jess, but they are amazing and at a great age. And now, my ass thinking about having a kid, I'm gonna have a toddler at 40, and my friends got grown kids out in college. But there was one thing that really I didn't like that the lady on TikTok said, because she made it seem like you can't live your best life because you have a kid. But
and
that
really
has
quick,
been
let people know there was a woman on TikTok who talked about not having kids and enjoying life. And so many of you saw that video. And go back to your point now, like what?
Yes. Well, there were a few things that she said. I love the fact that she wasn't against anyone having them and not wanting to have them. But there were key points that made it seem as if you have a kid, you can't travel. You have a kid, you can't live abroad. You have kids, you can't have money. And TikTok and social media has really shown that there are families that do all of that together as a unit, and it is very possible. Yeah, I lived my life and I was able to backpack through Europe and travel the world without a kid, but who says I don't want to do that with my little kid, my little mini me? I would love to have that opportunity. So I just don't think it's fair for some people to make it seem like not having a kid will give them all the glory to the world, when whatever you put your mind to and whatever you want to do, you could do with or without kids. Right. So for me, I can't wait to get married one day and have my little bundle of joy.
Now, Layla, what if you run into a husband who says, we're both in our 30s now, about to hit 40. I think it's time out for kids. What would you tell him if he saved that for a later conversation after you're already married, after you already have that relationship?
Isaiah, that would not happen. That conversation is date one, okay? That is not going to wait until after marriage.
Sis said we're getting in quickly.
Not day one, Layla, but soon, early.
Well,
Third date, Layla.
I would like to ask if you're interested in kids, because that's a real life thing. Right. At a later age in my life, I have to expect to date a man who already has kids, and that's the reality of it. So
is that a turnoff for you, or that's reality?
If you would have asked me a few years ago, hell yes. But now, no. I don't mind being a stepmom. I have a lot of love to give, but I mean, I just want at least one. I'm not asking for much, but I also believe in adoption as well. So if I could be out here like Angelina Jolie, traveling the world with my kids from different villages, I'm going to do it. A village.
You didn't go Jolie on us.
A recent study shows more women are opting out of motherhood, and they're fine with that. We brought together a group of women who are split over the issue. Let's get back to that conversation with our guests, Layla, Mish, Jess, and Desiree.
So yes, let me ask you this. You had your children when you were younger. Did they ever, in any form or fashion, get in the way of the lifestyle you wanted to live?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even though, I was married and had a husband in the house for 16 years till my oldest son was 16, he's now 19. We still were limited on the things that we can do because it was between me and him. And then, like working and everything else, like what I'm doing right now, my kids are older. So what Layla is saying is absolutely right. Like things are different for me now because they're older and I can now do the things I want to do. But they held me back a lot and they are a lot of money. So a lot of the things that I wanted to do entrepreneur wise, anything that I was trying, I'm doing real estate, an esthetician, whatever extra money I had and made, it was going to my children as well. Not to say that's the only big bill, but they took a lot. They consumed a lot out of me. And like Desiree said, even at 19, my son is still part of my responsibility. They're my responsibility forever. So
now, Layla, that didn't give you any pause at all. She said those damn kids held her back. All her life she had to fight.
All her life. The way that I look at it, Isaiah, you are. I love you so much, Isaiah. Yes, I mean, what she's saying is very true. But at this age, when I'm getting into my groove and actually having that opportunity to have a child, I should already have been established. I'm older, I'm wiser, I have more patience, I have more resources. So if I had a child at 20, like my mom had me, versus if I have a child at 37 or 38, 40, then at least the biggest difference and the biggest blessing is the wisdom, your bank account, and your patience. Because I couldn't handle nobody a few years ago. So I could just imagine what Jess had to go through.
She's so right. Isaiah, let me tell you, every Saturday that I get to wake up at 9:30 instead of at the crack of I want cereal at 5:30, I'm thankful. I am not even kidding you. There are days I wake up and I'm just luxuriating because I hung out late last night and I could just chill this morning. Those days make me thankful I made the choice I made. Being a mom, that's full-time, and like our friend Desiree said, does not come to a stop. I like the way I live my life, and the fact that when you call us to the studio at 10:30 at night, that I could get up and go on to the studio to be with you at your show. I think I can do that.
Now, Mish, what if the right guy comes along and you say, now I want to get married, and this guy says, well, I don't care what age you are, I want to have children with you. What would you tell him?
Did you contract a surrogate? Because we're not stretching out at this age. Sorry, we're not doing that. No. Factory is on the shutdown. No.
I love Mish. She is my spirit animal.
She got it in there. You don't see a whole team of specialists I got a PPO, okay?
And what I'm hearing from all of you guys is it's not about the husband, it's not about this guy that I may date and what they want, it's how I want it. Is that fair or?
It's 100% fair. Okay, 100% fair. Because at the end of the day, I gotta carry this tiny human in me for 9 months. He ain't gotta do nothing. He not the one with the morning sickness. He not with the one with his boobies hurting. He not the one that's trying to get comfortable with a bed because it's laying on your bladder like it's a couch in there. He's not the one putting his life on the line to give birth to said tiny human. So if I don't want a kid, that's fully up to me, because my life forever changes because I'm the one who carried it for 9 months. He ain't do nothing but give me DNA for it. That's it. That's all.
Wow.
That's true.
Whoa. That's the first time I've ever heard Tiny said human.
That's how you know she don't want kids.
I don't.
Human. That was a good one.
Yeah, and even though I'm at an age now where I can do what she's saying, sleep in or go do what I need to do, I still have to make sure that they're good before I go. My youngest is 12. So there's still a responsibility, whether they're young and needing me every moment of the day or a lot, they still need me. They still require attention from me.
And you don't stop worrying about the kids just because they're grown. That never goes away. That's a lifetime responsibility.
It is.
It is, honestly, because like I said, I'm 27, gonna be 28 in June. My mama texts me damn near every day, "Are you okay? Are you all right?" I'm like, "Mama, I'm still breathing, converted oxygen to carbon dioxide. I'm good." But she's still worried about me. She like, "Make sure you're all right. Just making sure you're okay." Like, being a mom is a forever job. Like,
I have a question. In your 50s, Desiree, mine still does it too.
Oh, wow.
You
I have a question.
Be their child.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm so sorry. No, I have a question for the ladies that absolutely said no to them damn kids. How do you picture yourself as you get older? Because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, when I get older, I would hope my child would take care of me, reverse the roles." So do you have a lot of nieces, nephews? Do you give them extra gifts on Christmas so they know that when I get older, y'all gotta help me out?
Layla, that is the one thing that always stuck in my mind until I started to see something happening. I have a slew of friends who are separated from their adult children, estranged from their adult children, relationships ruined. I will say this: having kids is not a guarantee that someone will be there to take care of you. So to answer your question, stacking money, making sure savings are in place, and having a plan for my health care if something should go awry.
All right.
I like
That part.
Can't beat that. Can't beat that. Ladies, thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. Definitely a fascinating and interesting conversation, and we appreciate your time tonight.